Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So typically, I do the biggest losers of the fight card of the UFC fights, like obviously when they're on. But there isn't honestly a whole ton that is the biggest loser of that fight card. But there is one, and his name is Phil Hawes. And the reason why he is on this list for me is because the potential that guy has. Now, I underestimated Roman Dolidze's power on the feet. I realize that now. I just thought because of the previous fights, Roman Dolidze, he finished his debut fighter, and then he finished Kyle Daukaus. So I just didn't account for that power and all that stuff to be a thing that he's going to do consistently. Now, I did say he was going to take him down, and he did take him down, which honestly did put him in a bad position because his knee, we all know what happened with his knee. But again, if all the fights that we've watched with Phil Hawes, even the Phil Hawes fight that we had watched him lose against Chris Daukaus, he looked really good. He looked quick, he looked powerful, and his movement was good until he got caught. Okay? Then, a lot of the fights that we've watched with him, he looks quick, he looks powerful, his wrestling looks good. We have seen him get tired later on. Even when he fought Jacob Malkoun, again, he looks fast and he looks powerful. So again, he's disappointing because, again, it's partially on me because I should have realized that Roman Dolidze has the power and stuff, but he just really hasn't shown all that power. And he finished Daukaus with a knee from the clinch. Same thing with his debut fight. So it's just not something that I had thought about. I knew he had power, and I knew he was confident in that, in his chin and stuff, but he grappled a lot previously. And Roman Dolidze did talk about that later on, and in the post-fight with Michael Bisping, But Phil Hawes, we've seen a lot of good from him. The reason why I had picked him in this fight. He lost to Lewis Taylor a long time ago, 6 years ago now, with a guillotine in the second round. Then loses to Julian Marquez. Jesus. Next, on the Dana White's Contender Series, a head kick in the second round. And he was super tired in that fight. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. And then he gets three more fights. He gets back to the Contender Series. Wins overhand right, ground and pound, round number 1. It was beautiful. Again, if you haven't seen these, you can watch them. Then he debuts in the UFC, destroys Jacob Malkoun, 18 seconds in the first round, destroys him. Then fights Nursidine Imavov and looks incredible in the first 2 rounds. Gets real tired in the third round. Gets hurt a little bit in there, but still wins the fight. Then fights Kyle Daukaus. They have that in common. And he kind of bullies around Kyle Daukaus. Beats him up a little bit. Takes him down. Control time. Okay? Then fights Chris Daukaus. Again, looks real good up until the finish. And loses. Fights Andre Petroski. That's a grappling match, so it means nothing. And then fights Duran Win and looks the best probably he's ever looked. Nice elbows, looked super on. Granted, Duran Win is wanting that takedown. He's not really wanting to stand on the feet all like that, But destroys Duran Win. Then fights Roman, and like I said, some weird circumstances because of the knee going out and him compromising him. You could see that it hurt him and all that, and he was kind of like a punching bag at that point, but that doesn't take away anything that Roman did. His power and his accuracy was incredible. And what a sportsman Roman Dolidze is. Seriously. Roman Dolidze really, really shone last night, even against somebody who is probably faster and maybe does have a little bit of power because he's so much faster, that he can hang with those guys. So expect some big, big fights from Roman Dolidze. Again, it sucks to see Phil Hawes lose like that because I do think he's still faster and maybe a little bit more powerful. And I think his wrestling, we've seen him duck under the punch and get a nice takedown. Again, it led to a knee bar. We understand that, or whatever. Not a knee bar, it was like a heel hook. But that doesn't change the fact that it was a still nice takedown from Phil Hawes. So, again, it's a big, big loss for Phil because it puts him in this spot where Chris Curtis, he looks good, and then he gets caught and he loses. Roman Dolidze, he looks good early, gets the takedown, all that stuff, And then immediately, a heel hook comes, scramble comes from Roman, and then, yeah. So it puts him in this spot. At 33 years old, he'll be 34 in January. I don't know if he recovers from this because that was a very, very bad loss. Again, maybe partially my fault for underestimating the power of Delice. But it's a bad loss for Phil Hawes. And that is why he and nobody else is on this list. I just don't think there's anybody. I can't put Jared Van Der on here. I think people might ask why he's not on here. I can't put him on here because he could have won that fight last night. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. I mean, he beat the shit out of that guy's leg. Yeah, he didn't throw with the pro boxer, but he still he looked good last night, and it was having fun. It was fun to watch him. But again, frustrating, but it is what it is. You guys know what to do. Hit that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can. Leave a comment down below. You know what it is. Peace.